And then Duke's getting to the free throw line the last couple of games. That's been a huge problem, is the free throw disparity, and they need to keep that going if they want to keep their winning streak going.
They come in off a 26-point home win Saturday against Clemson, their biggest win of the year. Miami in the home white. And the tip controlled by Jalen Johnson, and Big Monday is underway. Jordan Goldwire guarded by Harlan Beverly. Goldwire and DJ Stewart, the backcourt. Hurt Johnson and Wendell Moore Jr. The front court. Duke turns it over. Saw the officials, Jeffrey Anderson, Mike Stevens, and Brent Hampton. And the starting five for Miami. They played almost all year, all but 2 games without Chris Lykes, the dynamic point guard, so Beverly fills that role. McGusty and Wong, their 2 biggest threats. They get OLANIYI back from a shoulder injury that sidelined him lately, and Anthony Walker. So with OLANIYI returning tonight, they now have 7 scholarship players. They lost at Wake Forest over the weekend with just 6 scholarship players in action. And the first shot of the game for Miami missed by Cameron McGusty. Wild scramble, and Duke winds up with it.
Duke looking to Matthew Hurt early. They went into him in the post, couldn't find him after a switch on the first possession. But for this Miami team, they've really struggled against zone because they're a poor three-point shooting team. They're much better against man. That's what Duke started out in.
And Miami does not shoot threes very well, and they don't defend the three very well. Jim Larinaga said that's really been the biggest problem that they've had all year. Isaiah Wong fouled by Jalen Johnson. They had a chance for a three-point play for Miami's leading scorer for the year. Wong averaging 17.4 per game, sophomore out of Piscataway, New Jersey. Actually, it was Anthony Walker who made the bucket, pardon me. All those things we said about Wong are still true. Despite all the injuries, Jay, and they're the key players, they have some notable wins. Purdue just moved into the top 25 today, and they beat Louisville, which was then ranked number 16.
Yeah, that Purdue win really early, and Chris Lykes available for that game. And not having Chris Lykes, but so much pressure on this team, both offensively. Isaiah Wong has to be the leading scorer and play 37 minutes a game, but it also puts a ton of pressure on their defense to pitch shutout after shutout.
That's a backcourt violation. Wong couldn't handle the pass from McGusty, so both teams a little sloppy here. We have 80 fans approximately in attendance. There's Chris Lykes, first team preseason All-ACC. Senior guard hurt his ankle, sprained an ankle in the second game of the year against Stetson. Has not played since. This is the 15th straight game he's missed.
A little double stack low for Duke.
And the shot wouldn't go for Wendell Moore. Beverly is a sophomore from Detroit, but played 1 year high school ball at Montfort Academy, the powerhouse here in Florida. Did well to get to the rim and then missed the left-handed layup.
Coming up a 9-assist performance against Wake Forest.
Nice block, and that's a held ball as Isaiah Wong went up to deny Jalen Johnson.
Yeah, Jalen Johnson's gotten off to a rough start. Had that foul in the three-point play. Walked the first time he touched it. I think he thought he was wide open for this. Just a terrific play by Isaiah Wong to come from behind to be able to block that. Because the ball never moved, I guess they decided it was a held ball.
Anthony Walker, sophomore from Baltimore, tried to hand it off on a curl to McGusty. It wound up with him. And now a couple of officials with the whistle. Looked like the official underneath was going to call a foul, but it's a travel instead, and that certainly seemed to be the right call, as Jay just said.
Yeah, McGusty might have been better off just trying to dive on that ball or just get possession of it rather than try to make the play. Good effort.
DJ Stewart, the freshman, nice drive. Then he missed a short. He got his own rebound and has the first Duke bucket of the game. Nearly 3 minutes in. Stewart averaging 14 points per game for the year. #1 freshman in the ACC, and as you can see, a little bit better than that. 15 per contest over the last 2.
He's a multi-dimensional scorer, and if you foul him, he knocks his free throws in. One of the best free throw shooters in the ACC, top 5.
Matthew Hurt, the block shot, rejecting Anthony Walker. Now Jordan Goldwire, senior, one of their team leaders. Coach K say he and Wendell Moore really provide the leadership and the communication at the defensive end, and that was Wendell Moore with the basket to put Duke up with 3.5 gone by.
That was just a little 1-4 set. They lifted up the Miami defense, and as soon as Wendell Moore caught it, he just took it dead to the basket, went to the other side of the rim. That was really nicely done.
Isaiah Wong. He's added muscle from his freshman year to this year, and that was on display there. Nice play by Duke at the other end. Winds up in a dunk for Jalen Johnson.
But Jalen Johnson is so talented. He leads Duke in field goal percentage, blocks. And now that he's healthy, he can be a difference maker because he can do so many things. He can pass it, he can handle it. When he rebounds, he can take it up himself. He doesn't have to outlet it.
Marlon Beverly the bucket for the Canes to put Miami back up by 1. You can see there's plenty of talent on this Miami team. Unfortunately, just not a lot of depth. DJ Stewart. And that's a 3. Saw the frustration of Jim Larinaga as the shot went up. Miami, as we mentioned, shooting 28% for the year from 3, and their opponent shooting 37.5%. They are worst in 3-point defense.
That's one of the worst in the country.
And that's a 3 right on cue. Elijah OLANIYI makes the shot. OLANIYI's a senior. He's a transfer from Stony Brook, where he scored more than 1,000 points in his 3 seasons playing there.
He averaged over 18 a game last year, 6.5 rebounds.
There have been 6 lead changes already the first 5.5 minutes. And a foul underneath as Moore went up. OLANIYI was there, as was Walker. So with a couple of wins, Coach K's team in much better shape with an eye toward the NCAA tournament, according to Joey Brackets. More on that in a moment. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. Visit progressive.com. Mike Krzyzewski's team now 7-5 with an eye toward making the NCAA tournament for the 25th consecutive tournament. Of course, it wasn't one last year. That's the second longest active streak. Kansas trying to make it 31 straight tournaments, and that 24 in a row for Duke is the third longest of all time. They weren't on Joey Brackett's radar until these last couple of wins, and he still has them in the next 4 out. Follow bracketology. There's the first 4 out, then the next 4 out. But Joey Brackett thinks by the end of the season, with their upcoming schedule and the way they're playing, they will be comfortably in the NCAA tournament. And I agree with Joey Brackett.
Yeah, I mean, if you're projecting what they did the last 2 games is going to continue, that's really the issue. And this team is good enough to, I think they're NCAA tournament worthy given their roster. But you have to pile up wins.
You understand the concept. 2 for 2 from the line for Wendell Moore. Isaiah Wong, the fadeaway.
He is a really good scorer. He can create his own. And another automatic free throw shooter when you foul him. One of the most improved players not only in the conference but in the country from last year to this year.
Matthew Hurt the miss. Mark Williams in off the Duke bench. He's a big reason why the team has played better, according to Coach K. Brought them some physicality, and he snatches the rebound. Off a career-high 11 points in just 14 minutes against Clemson. And that 26-point win Saturday for the Blue Devils.
Duke's been loose with the ball.
Goldwire had it slip away, and that's Wong attacking the basket again.
But Miami is getting to the rim. I mean, they are scoring points in the paint. Right now they're shooting well over 50%. I think they're 5 for 9. There's back that 1-4 set again for Duke.
And executed beautifully. Matthew Hurt the dunk.
That 1-4 set, what it does, Sean, it lifts up the defense and it basically can eliminate weak side help or at least make it much tougher. But with this lineup in for Duke, it makes it a little bit easier for Nasir Brooks because he's had a struggle guarding stretch 5s and stretch 4s. And Mark Williams more of a low post 5.
OLANIYI the miss for Miami. Hurt just inside the arc. Rattles home along 2.
Boy, Matthew Hurt, his shot fake is so effective because his jump shot, he's not one of those guys that has a big vertical on his jumper. He's almost Larry Bird-like, and he's just off the floor. But, man, his shot fake is so effective for that reason. He's got such shot credibility.
Dusty couldn't finish, and then again, sloppy with the ball. Goldwire threw it away, then hustled back to take it back for Duke.
So it's nice when you're that good of a defender, you can make up for a mistake that easily.
And Hurt missed a 3. OLANIYI the rebound. Where's the name? Abadoye on the back of his jersey. That's in memory of his mom, Ruth. That was her maiden name. She died of cancer in 2017 after Elijah's senior year in high school. There's a Duke foul. That'll get us to a break. It's on Mark Williams, his first. Isaiah Wong having a terrific sophomore season. Some good influences in his life. We'll tell you about the contract he signed with his mother when we come back. real bright spot in this difficult season for Miami, the play of the sophomore from Piscataway, New Jersey, Isaiah Wong, highly recruited and regarded out of Monsignor Bonner in Pennsylvania. And back in the 7th grade, his mother, Lachelle, required him to sign the contract on the right of your screen. Among the things Lachelle addressed, keeping his grades up, his room clean, healthy eating habits, and if Isaiah did not follow the contract, he would lose the use of electronics. He would not be allowed to play basketball.
Negotiations would have broken down in my household over the straighten up and make your bed thing. Boy, what a rebound by Nasir Brooks.
Transferred in the game.
They transferred in from Cincinnati, and he's a really good defender, but he's got a much better opportunity to defend in this game because he's guarding a more of a low post player in Mark Williams.
Back and forth we go. 11 lead changes already. The freshman Jeremy Roach with the bucket. Duke missed its first 4 shots. They are now 7 for 9 since. And 7 for 13 from the game. You know, the part of that contract also you had trouble with is showering nightly. Clearly was something that has eluded you. Mark Williams active again. Spent a lot of time working with assistant coach Nate James, who works with the Duke big men. And you can just see the confidence growing.
Well, Mike Krzyzewski had talked about Williams learning the physicality of college. You know, a lot of times for big guys in high school they're not allowed to touch anybody. So you're kind of having to learn how physical you can be without fouling.
Cameron McGusty, the 3. Back and forth they go. McGusty, another fifth-year senior, played very well lately, especially nearly 17 per game over the last 3. He's a transfer from Oklahoma, played 2 years there, sat out here 1 year as a redshirt, and now is his 2nd year playing as a Hurricane. Galen Johnson, no.
He's worked on that shot, but that's not really his shot now.
A little Euro step to the hoop for Anthony Walker. And a timeout called by Duke. Nearly midway through the opening half. It's Miami by 4 in Coral Gables. Super Tuesday is tomorrow, and attractive matchups we have for you on ESPN and the app. At 7, the game of the night in Austin. Number 6, Texas. Number 2, Baylor, still undefeated, one of the 3 remaining undefeateds in the country. Followed at 9 by 12th ranked Illinois, taking on Indiana in Big Ten play.
I was supposed to see Texas on Saturday at Kentucky for the Big 12 SEC, the Longhorns and the Wildcats, and the game was, I guess, canceled. They can't replay it.
They're not going to replay it.
But I found out I got the nicest hotel room I've ever had. I was in it for an hour and they called the game off. Not only did I want to see the game, but man, I had a nice hotel room.
Well, we're all happy for you.
Boy, Coach K is beside himself over this start by his team, and give Miami credit, but they just call a timeout and then they give up a turnover for a touchdown right there. I mean, Duke is sluggish to say the least in this ball game, and Miami has taken full advantage, and they played very well to start.
OLANIYI, the last bucket for a 7-0 run here for the Canes. And a block shot up high by Walker, and then Goldwire short with the floater. And a miss from him close by Anthony Walker.
Yeah, everything right now for Miami has just been too easy.
Hurt from the elbow. Well, Coach K was concerned about this game, and it wasn't lip service. You know, he talked about the talent, particularly Wong and McGusty. Said Jim Larinaga is one of the great coaches of all time. He does a particularly good job of getting the ball to his best players, particularly when they're shorthanded as they are here tonight. And he wondered if his team would be ready to go, or perhaps feel a little bit good about themselves after those 2 wins in a row following a 3-game losing streak. Matthew Hurt called for the foul for Coach K.
Nasir Brooks on the glass has been a difference maker on the offensive glass. He got that first offensive rebound and dunk. That was almost instant replay right there, but for the foul. And if somebody doesn't put a body on him, he's going to continue to get offensive boards. That's what he does. He's a rebounder, shot blocker that can score around the rim.
First foul on Hurt. Walker slipped and gets called for the travel. One of many players in Miami's missed time this year. He missed 4 weeks of preseason practice with a right knee injury. Sam Wardenberg, who's their leading returning rebounder, hasn't played all year with a broken foot, suffered back in October in practice when he stepped on a foot. Stewart, that's a long 2 for Duke to get them within 2. And here's a look at all of the injuries. Wardenberg, Likes, and Miller returning starters. Timberlake, a top 40 freshman. He's out with a shoulder problem. He's also had an ankle injury. Gusty, OLANIYI, Gak, and Walker have all missed time.
What a finish. OLANIYI that was beautiful for him to go get the ball from Brooks, who had picked up his dribble and forced further out on the floor to be able to get a layup out of that. Really nice job by Elijah OLANIYI.
Speaking with Jim Larinaga, Jay, they had so much optimism when they started preseason practice with all 5 starters back, 4 of them seniors. That's a travel. That's Roach. Went a little shake and bake and committed the 6th Duke turnover.
Well, Miami has gotten off to a great start. They have been attacking the paint, attacking the rim, and finishing in Coral Gables.
Red Raider Nation and the nation's college basketball fans, welcome to the set of the Fireside Chat. Tonight we have a great opportunity, Big 12 battle, Big Monday here in Lubbock against the University of Oklahoma. their Hall of Fame coach, Coach Kruger, who has about 1 million more wins than I do. We're going to try to get 1 win here in Lubbock tonight. Hope everybody enjoys the game. Again, from the set of the Fireside here, hope everybody enjoys Big Monday tonight. Guns up. Back to you, Sean and Jay.
Chris Beard, you've been on his show.
I have been on that show.
Fireside Chat. It's one of the great coaches shows in any sport. He is a really funny guy. And as he said, that is a big game. Oklahoma moved up 15 spots to number 9 in the new poll out today. They have 3 wins against top 10 opponents, 3 in a row. And Texas Tech has another good team themselves, number 13.
Well, Oklahoma has won those 3 top. Kansas, Texas, Alabama, 3 wins against top 10 teams. That's really stunning. And Lon Kruger, really one of the great coaches and truly great guys in the business. And they're so steady. They don't turn the ball over. They don't foul very much. And then Davion Harmon, he was a freshman last year in his second year, is really having a good year. And for him to step forward against Alabama without Austin Reeves, their leading scorer, being in the lineup, really says a lot about how tough that team is. But, Sean, it's really remarkable. I mean, Miami is off to a great start, but Miami hadn't scored 60 points in a game in their last 4, and I'm not sure have they reached 25
no, this
and a half?
This is the first time now in the last 5 games. The previous 4 games, they did not reach 25 points in the first half. They have 27 now. Back cut by Matthew Hurt. Nice feed by Jalen Johnson. Jim Larinaga accurately calls a point forward. Remember, when we had the Duke-Michigan State game early in the year, Tom Izzo compared Jalen Johnson to Magic Johnson. The way he passes the ball, handles the ball at his size. Beverly, strong drive, but couldn't score over DJ Stewart.
Nice job by Stewart to stay in front and not foul. Another turnover. That's just weak with the ball. Surprising.
7 Duke turnovers, and Harlan Beverly made sure that Coach K's team paid for that one. 7 turnovers. It's a 6-point Miami lead. So Beverly's a guy who's played all year long. He would have been a bench player. He's been a starter because of the injuries, but Jim Larinaga told us he gets treatment on his back every day, and he's a game-time decision before every game.
Got a herniated disc in his back, and he's been playing in a tremendous amount of pain, but playing through it. And it's really affected his shooting.
Jeremy Roach, he had a nice game at Clemson with 12 points after he did not score in the couple prior to that. 8 seconds on the shot clock.
There's a lot of indecision for Duke in this ball game, not only on the defensive end, but they've had some indecision on the offensive end. It's led to turnovers and led to some questionable shots.
Tough fadeaway. Good defensive sequence there for Miami.
And it's been one shot and out. There haven't been a lot of offensive rebounds for Duke in this ball game.
Miami, even though the number's down, Jay, they still have talent, as we're seeing again here tonight. The question is, will they have enough in the tank? Second game in 3 days. It's probably going to play tonight with 7 or perhaps 8 men at the most. And a moving screen there at the top of the key on Nasir Brooks. His first foul.
I think, Sean, to your point about the gas in the tank, I think that Miami's more likely to have some gas in the tank, given they've seen the ball go through the net a few times. I mean, it's so deflating when they've been shooting the ball so poorly. It's been so difficult to score, and it puts so much pressure on their defense. I think just having some offensive success early is going to give them a little bit more verve.
Matthew Hurt with a long 3, well off the mark, and rebounded by Cameron McGusty.
Now, a little bit of zone here. It's a 1-2-2 odd man front, 3-2, 1-2-2, whatever you want to call it. But trying to stop some of this penetration, protect the paint.
Shot clock down to 7 for the Canes. Isaiah Wong trying to get through the top of that zone defense, and he turned it over. And Goldwire way too strong off the backboard. And DJ Stewart fouled Jim Larinaga, frustrated they didn't come up with that rebound.
It looked like Goldwire just lost the ball on the way up. You know, Sean, on the defensive end for Duke, you could see the difficulty that Miami has. Yeah, he just came out of his hand there. But the difficulty Miami has against zone, because they're not a very good shooting team. And so it limits their penetration and makes it much more difficult for them to get what they want.
OLANIYI called for his first foul. DJ Stewart, freshman from Chicago, out of Whitney Young. As Jay mentioned earlier, one of the top free throw shooters in the ACC, 84.4%. Here comes Deng Yak, 6'11" redshirt junior. He gives Brooks a break. He's another guy who's been battling through injuries. He's had surgery on both knees. Jim Larinaga said if they get 16 or 17 minutes out of him, they're happy. He doesn't practice much with them. There's Anthony Walker, a line drive from the free throw line.
Well, awfully easy. If he can make that shot, that'll loosen up that zone defense a little bit. Walker's an athlete, man.
Setting up inside, Wendell Moore, and he was fouled by OLANIYI.
Duke able to get that bucket by isolating Wendell Moore in the post, but this first half has been about turnovers and Miami taking them the other way. Not only does Duke not get a shot, but Miami gets some easy ones. Mike Krzyzewski not happy.
come to a stop and make the right play. What do you think there, Jay Billis, in a box?
I think if you do the Monday microscope, Seth, you should look through that microscope with your open eye.
I have no idea what that means. Can you clue the rest of America?
Have you ever seen The Naked Gun with Leslie Nielsen?
Yes.
Where he looked in the microscope with his closed eye, and George Kennedy had to tell him, "Use your open eye, Frank." You never saw that?
No, I did, but I forgot. A, and B, I assume not everybody watching this, or even perhaps a high percentage.
Our cultured crowd, our cultured audience definitely has seen The Naked Gun and knew exactly what that reference was. That was a brilliant piece of comedy that I think you ruined.
Leslie Nielsen was an outstanding actor. Fine film. I'm still trying to recover from the fact you had a nice hotel room in Lexington. Matthew Hurt will shoot a pair. Certainly a leading contender for Player of the Year honors in the ACC. Foul was on Anthony Walker, his second. And also most improved player.
Yeah, he's going to have some competition for most improved. He's right there. You know, he's second in the league in scoring and fourth in rebounding, but you know, Isaiah Wong is right with him because he's improved tremendously from last year to this. And Quincy Guerrier of Syracuse. I'd put Jay Huff of Virginia in there too for his improvement.
Well, why don't we just give it to 4 or 5 players and they can all share it? Have a participation trophy. There are the increases in points per game. Wong, highest on that list, just under 10 points per game more than he scored last year as a freshman. As you said, Guerrier much improved. Matthew Hurt, improved scorer, shooter, rebounder. Of course, a big part of Wong's success is the added muscle. You know, we mentioned the contract he signed with his mother. Obviously, she pushed him from an early age to work hard, and clearly he worked very hard in the weight room since he arrived here at Coral Gables. Looks like a different human being.
Must have been an addendum to that contract. Get in the weight room or your cell phone is gone. He sure got in there. He's a really good player. Just his ability to get his own shot. You know, he's a Philly kid. I know he's from Piscataway, New Jersey, but a Philly kid. And Lonnie Walker sort of paved the way for him to get to Miami.
Paved, not paved.
Paved.
Yes, just in case.
Did I say paved?
No. But I just want to make sure people starting to watch The Naked Gun if they can find it.
Great steal by Wendell Moore, and what a beautiful finish to go to the other side of the basket.
And they come back to tie it. The largest lead of the half for either team was the 6-point edge for Miami. Duke's biggest lead was just 2 points.
And this zone has really changed the tempo of the game. It's caused Miami to stand around instead of attacking. And now Duke's able to put some full court pressure on, and so the tempo is completely different than it was 3 minutes ago.
And Hurt puts Duke back on top with 2:25 to go. Well, the zone makes sense, don't you think? It's an 8-0 run here. I mean, we talked all night. Miami's the worst worst three-point shooting team in the ACC and 320th in the country out of 341.
It does make sense, but they're going to it a little bit out of necessity. You'd like to be able to guard in man-to-man. That's usually what they do, but they played Louisville almost exclusively zone.
Goldwire after a wild shot by Harlan Beverly of Miami, and now Duke has a 4-point lead for the first time tonight.
Wong doesn't have any receivers to throw to. Somebody's got to get open, sort of in the middle of that press. Catch, space the defense, and make a play.
Now all of a sudden, 4 fast break points for Duke. We mentioned how the last time out they hadn't had any to that point.
Jim Larinaga with 2 traditional big guys in, Gack and Brooks.
That's McGusty short with a 3. One of those big guys, Brooks, corralled the rebound.
They need to just try to post this zone to occupy defenders. Good cut. That is way too easy. My goodness.
And Dengak has the bucket, his first of the game. He's from Sydney, Australia. Born in Cairo, but lived there just a couple of months. Moved to Australia, then came here to this country in 2015 to play high school ball at Blair Academy in New Jersey. Goldwire the miss. Here's Gack again, called for the offensive foul. Wendell Moore stood in there and took the hit. First foul on Deng Gack.
Just nobody picking up the cutter. Deng Gack just waltzes all the way to the basket, gets a little bounce pass from his fellow big guy, Nasir Brooks, and that is certainly not the way that Mike Krzyzewski wants his zone defense to work.
About 6 seconds difference between the game clock and the shot clock. We approach halftime. Ten seconds to shoot. They're running out of time. Stewart has to shoot. He missed. Time for Miami for a counter. Just inside half court. It wouldn't go for Harlan Beverly. And we're at the half. Duke 6-0 and leading at the half this season. We're at halftime.
But Duke needs to do a better job in the second half of not settling for jump shots. I think they were only 1 of 8 in the first half from three-point range.
Each team played only 7 men in the first half. Duke ball to begin the half. Jordan Goldwire out there in the backcourt with DJ Stewart. This is Jalen Johnson with Wendell Moore. And here's Matthew Hurt. And he drove past Wong, who actually might have closed out with a little too much vigor. And a Miami foul called on OLANIYI, his third. And again, they have no depth. They played just 2 bench players, and one of them, Deng Gack, played only 4 minutes in the first half. All 7 scholarship players available for Miami tonight have played.
Oddly, OLANIYI, he was there to take the charge, but just backed off a little bit, and that's what wound up giving him that block. He went aggressively over to get that position, but just didn't keep it. And when he's guarding Matthew Hurt, he's given up about 3-4 inches in height, and Hurt's taking him down into the post. Duke's just got to make sure they find him.
Now a 12-2 run dating back to the end of the first half. 13 points for Hurt. He scored in double figures in every game this year. Played very well against Miami last season at 22 in the win over the Hurricanes in Durham. Johnson, nice defensive play, and apparently hit OLANIYI on the way out. He seems perplexed by that.
Yeah, just a tough drive along the baseline. I don't know about that one. There was an awful lot of contact when he was going up. Johnson got his own rebound and scores, and here's the largest lead of the night for Duke now. 6 points. That also was the largest lead Miami had in the first half. Just shows Jalen Johnson his versatility. He can go down into the post. He can play out in the perimeter. He's the best in transition, at least to this point. When he works on that shot and extends that range out, it's just going to be awfully difficult to guard him. Well, Miami completely out of sync after they were so impressive for so much of that first half. They get a bucket from OLANIYI late in the shot clock. 9 now for Elijah. OLANIYI's just got a good ability to score. Just another turnover for Jalen Johnson. Way too easy. I mean, giving up these easy buckets. And Johnson's been trying to make some home run plays in this game instead of making the easy play. You know, trying to be spectacular at times instead of, you pile up some easy plays over and over again. That becomes spectacular.
2 minutes gone by, second half, a 2-point Duke lead. Goldwire the miss, and the tip wouldn't go for Moore. Moore has bad memories of their trip here to Miami last year. He broke his hand in their game here in early January, wound up missing 6 games. Duke won both meetings last year by double figures. They've won the last 4 against the Canes overall. This is the only regular season meeting between the two teams this year. Defense leads to offense. Beverly the lay-in, and Miami is back even. And 8 points for Beverly, sophomore from Detroit.
Layup after layup, and Jalen Johnson tried to take that ball to the basket. He took it against multiple Miami defenders, but he didn't take it strong. Not only did it get blocked, he didn't give himself the chance to get fouled. And that's just a function of youth. Good fake
by Wendell Moore. He goes all the way down the lane to score.
Wendell Moore has struggled from the three-point line this year. He's shooting under 30%. And that's just one of those scouting report things. You cannot leave the floor when he makes a fake.
As Leslie Nielsen might say, if you did that, you'd be playing with only 4 men. Johnson gets a breather. He missed 3 games with a foot injury. And Mike Krzyzewski said that really cost them some time to get acclimated to each other. It's a young team. The schedule disrupted by COVID. Well, they haven't had any positive cases on their team. Duke University as a whole has done a terrific job handling COVID-19. Wong a miss. It got tipped around. McGusty had a chance, and finally it's taken back by Matthew Hurt for Duke.
I think when the Duke coaching staff looks at this tape, they're gonna see a lot of rebounds that are right there for the dark uniformed players to grab, and they just haven't grabbed them. Miami has been more aggressive in going after the ball.
Moore got called for a travel. There was a bump there. Might have been an offensive foul. They settled for the travel with the officials instead. Timeout, 2-point game, 15:59 to go on Big Monday.
No matter which shade of blue you bleed,
this rivalry is the very best that college basketball has to offer.
And it is renewed, the 254th time. Saturday night, a Sonic blockbuster. Duke's won the last 3. Neither team ranked. And it's the first time they will have met with both of them out of the top 25 since February 27th of 1960. Leaner good for Anthony Walker.
And that's how you break pressure. You break it to score. And Anthony Walker has done a good job in this game. He's such a hard worker. Improving skill level. His second jump is so effective. Good athlete. Can't go over the top of that.
Walker 1 point away from double figures for the 4th game in a row. He's trying to do his part for this depleted team.
Yeah, Walker went over the top of that screen to get to Matthew Hurt. I'm surprised Hurt didn't shoot it right away. With that shot fake, he really actually allowed the defense to recover to him.
Goldwire with the shot clock down to 3. Stewart needs to take a shot and does. And it falls short from the elbow and rebounded by Walker. So here's a chance for Miami to reclaim the lead. They've done damage inside, 28 of the 41 points in the paint.
Got to get Isaiah Wong involved. He hasn't had a shot attempt in a while.
McGusty just had it thrown back at him by Mark Williams. DJ Stewart short with the layup, snatched by Anthony Walker.
Tried to go with a little Euro step there. It's just not a strong move in transition.
And he gets called for the travel at the other end.
You get so few really great opportunities in transition. You have to be able to come away at least with getting fouled, to go to the rim strong. And DJ Stewart didn't do it on that last attempt.
Hurt with Wong on him. And the 3 wouldn't go for Jeremy Roach. Home run pass off the foot of Walker. Did well to run it down right in front of the Miami bench.
Yeah, Miami's just quicker to the ball in this game. I know the Duke coaching staff would rather play man to try to wear this Miami team down a little bit, because what a pass. That was a terrific pass.
And then Williams, the block. Boy, it was a scramble all the way around for Miami. It still looked like they were going to wind up with a bucket, but Williams said no, and he deflected out of bounds off the Hurricanes.
Well, Stewart taking it to the basket and not going as strong as he needed to be able to complete that play, and Mike Krzyzewski not pleased. Just didn't want any water. Not hydrating.
Gone 3.5 minutes without scoring, the Blue Devils. Williams assertive as he has been lately. He banks one home.
Well, he's getting better, isn't he?
He sure is.
A lob threat that can run the floor and rebound and finish. Just provides that rim protection with that 7'4" wingspan.
First 10 games of the season, Jay, he had a total of 6 field goals made. He has 7 in the 2 games prior to tonight. It's Georgia Tech and Clemson.
Well, that was pretty clear. He got that at the apex, because if that would have been one click further, that would have been a goaltend. Actually close to it.
3 blocks in limited playing time. Out of bounds, last touch by Moore of Duke. 5 seconds to shoot for Miami. Long guarded tightly by the freshman Roach. McGusty at the shot clock buzzer, rebounded by Elijah Olaniyi. Ooh, dangerous pass. Made it to Wong, and it sets up McGusty for 3 and the Miami lead.
Coach K asking for a shot clock violation if that shot didn't get off, but whether it got off or not, you still got to rebound it. Duke didn't rebound it. Miami did, and it led to an open 3.
Goldwire, he rattles home a 3. It's really not his specialty. It made only 9 threes all year prior to tonight.
Goldwire been so much better in his last 2 games coming into this one, but against Georgia Tech and Clemson. Close to 8 points a game, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, a couple of steals, and taking much better shots. Leadership good.
Yep. Goldwire leads the ACC in assist to turnover ratio, 3.31. Olaniyi had an offensive rebound, it seemed, for a moment, out of bounds. It'll be Miami ball when we come back. Well, if you're thinking about checking out what's on ESPN2, this might be a good time, because Illustrator's Best is coming up when we come back.
And it is time for everybody's favorite, the Illustrators Weekly Awards. Acclaimed internationally, the team of the week, the Oklahoma Sooners. 3 straight wins against top 10 teams. They beat Kansas, Texas, and Alabama.
That was a pretty easy choice.
A low turnover team. It doesn't mean it's the wrong choice.
No,
the player of the
choice.
week, Cade Cunningham of Oklahoma State, coming off a 21 points, 7 rebound, 5 assists, 3 steal performance against Arkansas, and he was outstanding at the end of the ball game. What a great closer. And the blue-collar player of the week is Terrence Shannon Jr. of Texas Tech. The lefty had 23 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 steals in an incredible comeback win over LSU. And I'm not sure he's been on the fireside chat with Chris Beard. I have, and it was the highest-rated fireside chat in history.
Anthony Walker hit a 3 during the filibuster, and Miami has the lead. Do you have any documentation that that was the highest rated Coach Beard fireside chat in which you were the guest?
Just the Nielsen ratings.
When was that?
It was earlier this year.
Oh, this year?
Yeah. Well, it was December. This season, I should say. It was technically last year.
There's been absolutely nothing else on. Here's a run-out opportunity for Duke. Goldwire stepped inside the 3-point arc, and it's tipped up and in. Both Williams and Moore were there. And they credit to Matthew Hurt. At least the PA announcer did. Olaniyi, they attack this Duke pressure, and Olaniyi will have a chance for a 3-point play.
What a great take by Olaniyi. Well, he was a game-time decision to play in this game. And it was the right decision. Doesn't look like there are any problems with that shoulder. Just took a little bit of contact and able to get it off the glass and drop in. Just an aggressive take by Elijah OLANIYI.
And the second foul on Mark Williams. OLANIYI did not play their last two. Florida State or Wake Forest. He missed the free throw. 18 lead changes in this game. Tight throughout. Largest lead for each team, 6 points. Miami's in the first half. And Duke's in the early stages of this second half. Jalen Johnson working on Nasir Brooks. Took a bump and got the bucket.
Duke with more of a motion look on that last possession. And Joey Baker into the ball game, a guy that can shoot it, although he's not been knocking threes down at the same rate he did last year, but just off a little high ball screen. Got some penetration, a little pitch behind, and then the contact. Nasir Brooks just brought that arm down, and anytime you bring the arm down, there's contact, they're going to call a foul. But it's a very nice finish by Jalen Johnson, who struggled a little bit in this ball game with his turnovers. I think he got 4 turnovers in the game, and if I remember right, 2 or 3 of them went for easy buckets on the other end.
There's a second foul on Nasir Brooks. Another lead change.
Sticking with his three-quarter court pressure back to this 1-2-2 half-court zone. A little bit more movement by Miami than they had earlier on.
And Gack, nice cut to the bucket. He's had a couple of baskets with that type of move.
Yeah, that's essentially the same cut. Got it into Brooks and then just cut right off of him. Nobody picked him up. I mean, just as simple a play of almost give and go as you can get.
And another Duke turnover. This one by Roach. And it leads to a lay-in for Elijah OLANIYI.
Boy, to say that these passes are sloppy would be generous. He's almost reckless with the passes.
Matthew Hurt, tough shot, fading away with a couple of defenders on him. Wow, sloppiness on both sides. Miami got away with this one. McGusty to Gack for the dunk.
When Miami is really feeling good about themselves right now, and they should. I mean, that's some extra energy, extra juice that Deng Gack has brought into this ball game.
6-0 run for the Canes. They're back on top by 4.
Terrific drive, forced help, and Deng Gack from Blair Academy in Australia with the finish.
Well, this is entertaining, and what a game we have coming up next as we go to the Big 12 for the second half of our Big Monday doubleheader. Number 9, Oklahoma. They moved up 15 spots from last week, taking on 13th ranked Texas Tech. Oklahoma with 4 wins over top 10 teams in the last month. The first team to do that since 1974. And NC State, 4 top 10 wins in the same month.
David Thompson, Monty Tao, Tim Stoddard played on that NC State team that won the national championship.
TJ Stewart the miss, but Jalen Johnson attacks. OLANIYI saved it. So Miami with the 4-point lead and the ball.
Duke just not finishing plays. You know, Duke has 6 assists in this game, 12 turnovers. That is not a good ratio.
Miami hot. They've made their last 5. Down to 8:20 to go.
When they've touched the post, they've gotten good things out of it.
Oh, Gack. Ball was touched, so therefore no walk. And now they've made 6 shots in a row. Nasir Brooks, the transfer from Cincinnati.
They look like the Twin Towers when they've been in there. They've worked very well together.
Brooks and Gack. Goal wire. Rebound Johnson. Hurt. Whips it underneath. Great ball movement by Duke, but it doesn't lead to a shot until Stewart got all the way to the rim.
A much more aggressive drive. And you can tell you're going to get a better finish when you go in that hard. Great play by DJ Stewart to attack the rim.
Now in double figures for the 9th time in his last 10 games. Sear Brooks. One-on-one on Matthew Hurt, but Johnson was lingering, and McGusty got called for a travel.
DJ Stewart is the leading freshman scorer in the Atlantic Coast Conference. The ball flying all over the place. The drive off the closeout. Eyes on the rim and the finish. Big difference.
Taking on cruise control. Back to Sean and Jay.
Would efficient on both sides before words. Matthew Hurt steps back. They say that's a 3. And it's a 1-point game as we approach 7 minutes to go here in Coral Gables, Florida.
We talk about efficient with his movements. Matthew Hurt is such a good shooter. Got a quick release. Just pure.
Just the 3rd 3 of the night for Duke. Miami, worst 3-point shooting team in the conference, has made more. They've made 4. And that's another 3. This one from Isaiah Wong. He's their team leader in 3-point field goals made. Came into the night with 29, and that's his first make on his first attempt tonight.
When Miami's getting it along the baseline or into the post and passing out of it, they're getting whatever they want. They got it down to Brooks behind the defense in the short corner, kicked it out, and got a wide open step-in 3 from Wong.
Miami, a team that has to be a little weary, still very active on defense, reacting to every pass, forcing some tough shots. Wendell Moore made the deep 3 for Duke.
Well, Wendell Moore having a good game. 6 of 8 from the field. He hasn't missed a free throw. 16 points, 5 rebounds in this one.
OLANIYI, and all of a sudden Miami is a 3-point machine.
Miami shoots 28% from 3 on the season. That's last in the ACC, 323rd in Division I. And they're knocking shots down in this one.
And OLANIYI for the year, a 19% 3-point shooter. He's made 2 tonight, 8 for the year. Stewart took a bump, no whistle, kept it alive. It was poked away from Moore. It'll be Duke's ball with almost, well, they take the shot clock now back to 20. For a second, it was at 29.
Whenever I think about, 3-point shooting percentages, not guarding 3-point shooters that don't, or shooters that don't shoot well from 3-point, I always think of what Judd Heathcote told to Mark Few one time when Mark Few says we're going to back off this guy because he doesn't shoot it well from the perimeter. And Judd said, do you ever think that's because people are getting a hand up?
That's right. He doesn't shoot it well because they're guarding him. You saw the blood trickling from, looked like above the eye of Sear Brooks, so he's getting patched up. And there's a Miami foul.
Sear Brooks has had a good game in this one. I guess you could say he's been cooking.
Well, Jim Larinaga told us today he is a budding chef. He took a cooking class, and apparently the professor emailed the basketball folks, the academic advisor, say he is an outstanding cook to the point now where Nasir is pondering a future as a chef.
The 7-foot chef.
That doesn't look that healthy.
Looks good to me.
Yeah. But we're told he's an excellent chef. McGusty missed a floater. Would have given them a 6-point lead to match their largest. We're under 5 minutes to go. Duke a little fortunate there. The ball got deflected right to Hurt underneath the hoop. And it's a 2-point game. 18 for Hurt. Just about on his average. He averages 18.7. Second in the ACC behind Justin Champagny of Pittsburgh.
What a move by Isaiah Wong. And never took his eyes off the rim, even with that contact.
Goldwire the foul.
Can't allow him to drive to his right, but never took his eyes off the rim. Your eyes make layups, and that concentration just spectacular by Isaiah Wong.
He has 13 points. He makes the free throw. He's been hot from the free throw line as well. Has now made 12 of his last 13. Miami by 5, inching closer to what would be a huge upset, having lost 4 in a row, all by double digits. Jalen Johnson inside to score. They've lost the last 3 head-to-head to Duke by at least 30 points. They got smacked by the Blue Devils in the 2 meetings last year.
Yeah, Miami's got to be a little careful when they're deciding to switch on the defensive end. Duke went back to that 1-4 set, little side ball screen, got Miami to switch. All of a sudden, Jalen Johnson had a huge advantage inside. Nice play.
Nice offense by OLANIYI and Walker. It was OLANIYI from Walker.
Just a little play behind action. Right behind the drive. It is hard for the defense because you're going after the drive, trying to stop it. You pitch it back out for that open shot. That was just beautifully done.
OLANIYI has 3 threes tonight. He had 6 all season prior to tonight, was shooting 19%.
This is a game that has been unmarred by fouls. Now, the coaches would argue it's been unmarred by defense, but that gives you a few options defensively when you're not in any foul trouble. And against the zone, when the ball was in the middle of the zone on the baseline, they kick it out. And that last play to OLANIYI was beautiful.
Jay.
All right, Kevin, we spoke with Jim Larrañaga this afternoon. He said the story of our season beyond the injuries, we can't make threes, we can't defend the three. And they've done both very well tonight. 7 out of 13 from beyond the arc. The team that was 320th in the nation in three-point percentage, 28%. Coming in, they lead by 6, 3.5 minutes to go. Duke was an 11-point favorite entering tonight's game. DJ Stewart off the mark from 3, battle for the rebound, and it was ripped away from Jalen Johnson by Dengak, who's had one of his best games of the season.
With quality minutes, Duke going back to man now. Anthony Walker's had a terrific game in this one.
Gusty, tough shot. Gak kept it alive. They have a full shot clock.
That was off of goal wire, I thought. Looked like it went up his foot.
There wasn't any argument from the Miami players.
Nope.
Might have grazed the left leg of goal wire on the way by. Tough to tell. Stewart replaces Goldwire beyond the arc. A big 3 for the Blue Devils.
Similar play to what we saw on the other end from Miami. Just a drive and the play behind. A great presence of mind to throw it behind to Stewart, who was wide open, and his shot preparation was excellent.
Timeout called by Jim Larrañaga.
After this drive, a terrific job of replacing behind the drive by DJ Stewart. Just a very smart play, because all the defense is going toward the penetration. You play behind that action, you can get a wide open shot. Duke just did it. Miami did it to them on the other end.
Stewart 7 for 14 from 3 over the last 3 games. We have another full day of college hoops across all of our networks Saturday, highlighted by the Sonic blockbuster. North Carolina and Duke, that's at 6. Then the border battle between 11th ranked Tennessee and Kentucky from Rupp Arena. Both the games are on ESPN and the app, so you can watch anywhere. North Carolina's won 3 in a row. That is the longest active winning streak in the ACC. Very evenly matched, very balanced this season. See how Jim Larrañaga plays it. Trying to run any time off the clock, and they get it to Wong, who knocks down a deep 2.
Are you kidding me? The crossover step back against Wendell Moore by Isaiah Wong. That was big time. What a great play.
Instead of, are you kidding me, in the spirit of the evening, we should have said, surely you can't be serious. Jalen Johnson, nice move, and he scores around Dengak. Under 2 minutes to go.
And scored with the left hand.
And Oklahoma and Texas Tech still to come for the Big 12. Wong in traffic.
I think you want to get it back to Isaiah Wong here. Let him make a play.
No running out of gas in the second half. Miami has shot the ball very well, and with 4 on the shot clock, there's a foul. And you made the point earlier, Jay, neither team neared the bonus. That's the 3rd Duke team foul, and Miami's been whistled for only 4.
Yeah, I still think that can be. Watch this amazing, just individual move by Isaiah Wong. And then Jalen Johnson going over Deng Gak with the left hand on that drive. Just a pretty finish.
Second foul on Moore. I was going to ask you think Miami should try to shorten the game and run some clock, and it seems that they are. Gak, nice pass. OLANIYI fouled as he got hurt up in the air.
Deng Gak at 6'11" has become a playmaker in this game. And how about the game that OLANIYI has had? I mean, he's got 19 points. He's gone 8 of 10 from the field in this one. And 19 is a Miami career high. He had more at Stony Brook in a single game, but his previous high at Miami was 15 against Louisville.
That was in their huge win, surprising win against the Cardinals. That free throw rolls off. Hurts fouled his second. Brooks with his eyebrow patched up. Replaces Gak. Huge free throw here for OLANIYI, trying to make it a 4-point game. And he makes the second.
Now Miami has a couple of fouls to give as well. So you don't want to let Duke, you don't want to foul, but you don't want to let him have anything easy either.
Jalen Johnson powers his way to the bucket again. Brooks backed off. Duke brings pressure as we tick down to 1 minute to go. Miami with a 2-point lead. OLANIYI having a huge night, bumped on the drive. The bucket doesn't count. It'll be the 5th Duke team foul. And it's on Moore.
Johnson, another really good drive, and Nasir Brooks doing a good job not fouling. Putting some pressure on it, forcing the finish. You know, right now, Duke can be really aggressive in going after steals. If they foul, it's just another, taking the ball out of bounds.
He had the foul to Stewart, his first on DJ Stewart. These two veteran coaches, Mike Krzyzewski in his 46th season as a head coach in college basketball, 41st at Duke. Jim Larrañaga, 37 seasons as a college head coach, his 10th here at Miami, trying to avoid the 3rd straight losing season after a terrific run in those first 7 years. There's starting to be some mumblings with all the losing, but they've had overwhelming injuries. And he also points to that FBI scandal when Miami was mentioned, and then it came out that they didn't do anything wrong, but that really set back their recruiting for a while. There's a big bucket by Walker. 4 games in a row in double figures for Walker. Prior to that stretch, he had been in double figures in 4 for his entire career.
What a block by Brooks. That's why he was put back in the ball game, to protect the rim.
Out of bounds, the officials confer. I think the Duke players might have sold Michael Stevens on that call.
Well, it looked like it went off of Wong's leg, but they get to look at it here. They can take a look at the replay to see who it went off of.
This would be a huge turnover. The ball in a 4-point lead with 44 seconds to go.
Ball was knocked away, and I thought it went off. Well, maybe you're right. Maybe it did go off of Wendell Moore.
Pretty clearly, I think, there. But the Duke players very animated trying to steal the call. That's off his left thigh, and then it doesn't touch Wong.
Right off his knee.
Yep. Officials got it right. That was pretty clear on the replay. Didn't take long. So here's the situation you mentioned, Jay, about the fouls. Duke still has a foul to give, so you go ahead and foul now?
Well, I think you go after the ball now, but not worried about a foul. You go try to get a steal, initial trap, and then if you foul, they take it out again. So there's really no downside to foul. It's not like you're giving up free throws. You just go after the ball.
OLANIYI, it's 2-on-1. He attacks, and Johnson gets called for the foul.
Boy, a little surprised that OLANIYI went to the basket rather than pull it out, make them foul you, and take the ball out of bounds again. Because right now the clock, with a 2-possession lead, the clock is your enemy too.
But it looked like as he started to cup it, the ball might have been coming out of his hand. He got bailed out. 78% for the year, just 1 out of 3 tonight. And some big misses by OLANIYI. Saw him shake his left hand. It's that left shoulder that kept him out of the last couple of games. You wonder if that's impacting the free throw. He's had a career night for Louisville. He's frustrated. He made 1 out of 2. Duke in a heap of trouble now, down by 5. 40 seconds to go.
Don't have to have a 3.
They get a good look at one from the wing from Stewart. Goldwire got it back. That's a bit of a force. And it's 2 Duke players there to bat it out of bounds. 29 seconds to go. And Duke down by 5. And Coach K wants the foul to send them to the line for the 1-and-1. They don't foul quickly, and some time comes off.
That last possession by Duke, they did not need to have a 3. You want to get the ball to the rim because Miami doesn't want to foul. It's a 2-possession game. Get it to the rim, get a quick score, extend the game.
3 fouls now on Matthew Hurt. Walker will shoot a 1-and-1. He's 1 for 1 from the line tonight.
64% on the season.
And he missed. Miami missing some opportunities to perhaps put this one away.
And Miami still has a couple of fouls to give.
Don't want to foul a 3-point shooter. Hurt got Walker in the air. Now the question was it a 3-point attempt or was he inside the line?
Looked like 3 to me.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a bad mistake. It's one thing to foul, make him take the ball out of bounds, but Walker leaving the floor on that little fake. And we talked earlier about the shot credibility that Matthew Hurt has with that little shot fake. But in that situation, it's just a question of discipline. You cannot leave the floor in that situation. Just can't do it.
Makes the first of the 3. Made 9 of his last 10 free throws. 10 out of 11 now. It's back to a 1-possession game. All 3 for Matthew Hurt. Miami by 2, 14 seconds to go.
Boy, what a huge play. And now really for Miami, this is about passing and catching. You get your best inbounder bringing it in, and then you just have to make sure you get a good break to the ball, catch it cleanly, and expect contact, expect to get fouled, and then go to the free throw line, knock your free throws down. That's going to be the difference between winning and losing here.
Wong is 77% free throw shooter. McGusty's 84. Next Tuesday on ACC Network, a college basketball triple header starting at 4:30. We'll see this Duke team hosting Notre Dame at 6:30. Syracuse and NC State, a rematch of a game played last night, won by the Orange from behind. Finish off the night, 2 of the best teams in the country, Florida State and Virginia Tech, all on the ACC Network. That is 1 week from tomorrow night. So what's the strategy as we look inside those huddles for Coach L and Coach K?
Well, you can run the baseline, so you just want to get the ball in cleanly. I know that sounds simple, and you certainly don't want to get the ball into the coffin corners. So catch it out of the corners. But this is, it's simple. It sounds simple, but this is about passing and catching, and getting a good break on the ball. If you're going to set any sort of screen, making sure you do everything cleanly and just get possession of the ball and expect contact, expect to get fouled.
Miami has really hurt itself with free throw shooting. The Canes have missed 3 of their last 4. They're 3 out of 7 from the line in this half.
Now, Miami can run the baseline. They've still got 1 timeout. So Cameron McGusty's going to be taking it in. With Jalen Johnson on him.
At 6'9". They get it in to Walker. Then they come to foul him. It'll be a 1-and-1. It's only the 8th. The double bonus kicks in at 10. 3 fouls on Wendell Moore. And now Walker 1 out of 2 from the free throw line tonight. As Jay said, the last time he went to the line, 64.4% for the season. Coming in.
If I were Miami, I'd put guys on the free throw line here and go after the rebound. You don't have to worry about a foul. You got one to give.
That one's big. This one's huge.
I would not let Duke get a clean shot off here. I would be prepared to foul him. Let some time come off while they're bringing it up. But as soon as they do bring it up, foul him.
2 huge free throws by Walker. Having a mammoth night. He has 16 points. The average is 8 per game.
Well, he's had a terrific game, and OLANIYI's been great. What an effort by Miami in this one.
Hurt. Tries a 3. Tipped in by Wendell Moore. And a timeout by Duke with 4.9 to go.
That's one of the reasons I would have fouled. Is you foul, make them take even more time. You know, that was too quick.
Yeah, you have the foul to give. Why not foul? You don't want to foul with 3-point shooters. We just saw a moment ago.
No, you'd foul them bringing the ball up,
right.
make them inbound it
start
again.
Over.
Yeah, and start over. Nice job by Wendell Moore to tip that in. And that's why you want to get a quick 2 in some that earlier situation, is so you can extend the game.
No timeouts for Duke. Miami still with a foul to give. Possession arrow in favor of the Canes.
And Miami still has that one timeout. So if McGusty gets in any kind of trouble, if he in his internal clock, if he gets to 4, that's got to be a timeout. Possession is everything here.
Again, he can run the baseline. Here comes Long. That's the man they want to get it to. Either he or McGusty. So that's the 9th team foul. So this will be the last 1-and-1. Long's 3 for 3 from the free throw line tonight. Came in at 77%. And gets to the line more often than any other Miami Hurricane. Be his 78th free throw of the year. And it's short. So a chance for Duke to tie it with 2, win it with 3.
Need to foul him.
Hurt
Didn't get
at
it.
the buzzer. And he didn't get it off in time. And that's it. Miami with a stunning victory over Mike Krzyzewski's Duke Blue Devils.
Just an incredible effort by Miami, Sean, to come in as banged up as they have been. 4 straight games where they didn't even get to 60. And were beaten by an average of 16 in those 4, to come into this game and pull off this win. What a tough group.
That wouldn't have counted even if it had gone in. And Jim Larrañaga now 6-7.